Hi everyone, I am going to show you how I made these cards with my MISTI stamping tool. And the bird and the bird cage and the bird swing are entirely stamped. I didn't do any hand coloring on here, so I will show you how I do that. And this is the MISTI stamping tool, and you can get this from mysweetpetunia.com, and I really like this tool. And what I'm going to do, well, I should show you first. This is graph paper, and I don't know if you can see on it. Yeah, see the little squares? But that's graph paper, and I have actually taped it onto my MISTI stamping tool. I just put some tape on the edge up here and on the edge up here. There are magnets to hold it, but because I have a piece of foam, under here, the magnets don't hold my paper as well as I'd like. So I'm going to start out, this is the stitched rectangle from Lawn Fawn. And to hold it in place, I just put a tiny amount of kids glue in the middle there. Because like I said, the magnets don't hold the paper very well because of the foam. And I'm just going to line it up so it's straight on the edge with one of the graph lines. And I'm going to use the Stamps of Life stamp set. This is the birdcage stamp set. And I'm going to stamp out the swing first. And here's the swing. And I have a tiny mark on my paper where I'd like the swing to be. So I'm going to put it stamp side down. I'm just eyeballing where I want it to be and to see if it's straight. And that's good enough for me. And then I'm going to close the lid, and it picks up the stamp. And then I'm going to stamp the swing with some Rusty Hinge Distress ink. And then I close the lid. Give it a good press. And that turned out really good, so I don't need to stamp it again. Sometimes I have to, with the newer stamps, if I've never used them before, I gotta stamp them twice. And now I have the bird cage, and the bird cage is gonna go on next. And the stamp side down. And I like the bird cage to be towards the bottom and this bar over so you can see the swing. And that looks really good. And then I'm going to close it, pick up the stamp, and now there's the bird cage on the lid. And I'm going to use some black Memento ink, and I'm going to stamp the stamp. And now I'm going to close the lid. I'm just kind of rubbing it. And see, it didn't stamp very well in some of the lines, so I'm going to stamp it again. This is what the MISTI is really good for, is if your image didn't come out like you wanted it, it's not wasted. And I'm going to stamp it again because it's in the exact same place, as long as your paper underneath didn't shift. You can give it a few extra pushes. And there we go. Now it's a really good stamped image. And now I'm going to do the bird, and I'm going to do the bigger bird. There's two sets of birds in here. There's a smaller bird and a bigger bird. So I'm going to use the bigger bird, and I like him to be off to the side a little bit on his swing. So I'm going to just put him where I want him. And that's good. Close the lid, pick up the stamp, and then I'm going to stamp them with a light purple. This is Shaded Lilac. Oh wait, actually, sorry, that was the next step. He needs to be in black. At least I like it in black. I'm one step ahead of myself. And close the lid. There we go. Now we're going to use the solid stamp. And this is the stamp. We'll stamp a solid image except for the wing. So I'm going to place it on there and line it up as best as I can just by eyeballing it. And that looks good. So I'm going to close the lid to pick up the stamp. And now I'm going to use the purple, the Shaded Lilac. And oh, I almost forgot. I don't want his feet to be purple. So I'm going to take this Post-it note and I'm going to cover up his feet. Okay. Stamp it a little bit. Yeah, because I don't want his feet purple. Give it a little press. Now I want a little bit more coverage. So I'm going to add some more ink to the stamp. I'm going to stamp it again. There. That's better. And now I'm going to do his feet. So I will put this sticky Post-it note over his body so just his feet show. And I'm going to wipe off my stamp a little bit here. And I want his feet orange, and his feet and his legs. So I'm taking some orange and I'm just going over his feet, stamping his feet a little bit. And then close the lid, press it down. And I want them a little bit darker, so I'm going to ink up the stamp again. And there's his feet. There we go. That's really good. And now I'm going to do the same with the heart. I'm going to pick up the larger heart here. I'm going to place the heart where I want it stamped. That's good. And then I'm going to close the lid, pick up the little heart, it's his wing, and then I'm going to stamp that with a darker purple. Oh, I didn't get the tip of the heart. So I will ink up the heart again. And there we go. So it's basically done. I just I use some distress ink to go around the edges, and I use matching ink that I used on the bird. And then I just added die cut hello and some bling. And this one has an extra piece of bling because I had my fingers were inky and I put a fingerprint right there. A black fingerprint, so I just covered it up with some bling. And then I did, this is black and then red. And this is black and that's blue. And this is black and that's orangish yellow. And with this one I'll do, because the bird's purple, I'll do black and then I'll do a purple cardstock. And this one has some bling on it too. They all do. These ones didn't get extra because my fingerprints weren't on them. But that's how I use my MISTI stamping tool. Thanks for watching. Bye.